Before we start this, I know we all have these. I want to go ahead and read this out loud. If you guys don't have them, please follow along. It says, in loving memory of Tyron, the M was for Marquette Manlove. Yesterday was his birthday, so April 28th, 1978, January 30th, 2021, it was his homegoing. It says, I'm free. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I took his hand when I heard him call. I turned my back and left it all. My party has left void, then fill it with remembered joy. My life's been full, I savored much. Good friends, good times, a loved one's touch, a friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah, yes, these things I too will miss. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your hearts and share with me. God wanted me now, he set me free. So his mansion was built, you guys, and God was ready for it. I like to think he's up there playing with Kobe. You know, I'm sorry, I'm probably giving him the business. At this time, I just wanted to allow anyone who wanted to get up and say anything about Tyron, love, laughter, thankfulness, what have you. We want to keep it short and brief, 2 minute max. I'll leave it for you guys.
The main reason I wanted to come today was to basically help Daisy and KJ resolve what their loss, a great loss it was. The other reason I wanted to come was to meet his two sons, because they're going to spend the rest of their life living with people who remembered Tyron. In a sense, he's almost immortal in that on my dying day, if someone says Tyron, I know who that was. And so that part was amazing. We put together a team of about 7th and 8th graders. And the first big tournament we were in was in Seattle. We were playing CAYA, which had won 108 games consecutively. And they had Jason Terry, we had Tyron. And our basic offense was give the ball to Tyron and let him shoot. And we held with them through the game, into overtime, into a second overtime, and then Tyron fouled out, which we thought it was hopeless. And only by after God, we made a last-second shot that won the ball game. So, and the windows of my car were broken when I got back to my car. It was a hard loss for them. So that was sort of the beginning. And at that point, kind of a theme that I think William helped me with was that everybody wanted to be on Tyron's team. And that's what really brought us all together. He was really the force that his winning ways really brought us together. We brought a lot of adversity to the table right away. And it was controversial for a lot of people, but it's one of the highlights of my life. And I'll never forget it. Tyron was really the beginning of it. But in that sense, that's what I wanted to leave you all with.
Hi, I'm Vino Miller. Tyron was one of the best friends I ever had.
Take your mask off if you want to talk.
He always thought about other people. I spent a lot of time with Tyron over the last couple of years. Still the same spirit, still the same giving ways. We would talk basketball a lot. I wake up in the morning, tap in with him, see what's going on. He'd know everything going on in the sports world throughout the day. And what's crazy is tonight, the Masvidal fight was on. That's one of the last things we did together was watch that fight last time. But I played in college with Tyron. Probably one of the first times I came to basketball was in 8th grade, coming to freshman year, and Tyron was going into 8th grade, and I met him at the SEI Summer League. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, man, what college is he going to? And I was like, oh, he's in 8th grade, which I couldn't. Yeah. But outside of the basketball stuff, like I said, just in life, he was somebody who I could open up and just be honest with. He could be straight up forward. He wasn't judgmental. There's not a moment that goes by or a day to go by I don't think about him. So I want to keep his memory alive. I want to keep his legacy alive. I think he meant more than just basketball. He was a good man. He's a good father. I've seen these things day to day. So got a lot of love for him. Miss him a lot.
Daisy said I couldn't cry, so I'm going to do my best. I've done a lot of crying. It was someone very special taken way too early. I mean, that's what it was. And you could say a lot about Tyron and his basketball. That just speaks for itself. I was lucky enough to come back to Portland and have Tyron be a part of my life. A lot of these people here, it's really nice to see a lot of these people. And there's a whole other part of Tyron's life that makes him special too. And we've all grown up and got families and had to figure life out. He did it. I was more proud of him of that for anything. Because I've never seen a man with such endurance like this dude. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because he was special. And they didn't love him back like he loved it. Not quite like he deserved. Not like quite what he worked for. He didn't stop. He's got these beautiful children over here, Jaden, Tatum. So I was just more proud of him than that for anything. He endured through a lot of things. You know, where we all are, what life is. Being fathers and having families and doing what you gotta do to survive and support and love, and teach these children, try and teach them better than what we knew. And that's what I'm gonna do, because we did run around and do some stuff we weren't supposed to do. Y'all know that too. But I love him, and I know y'all do too. He was special. So let's keep him alive, keep his memory alive, remember all his children. Let's try and stay connected the best we can. Let's try and hold each other a little bit accountable on that. Make sure and reach out and touch one another. You know, and think about, you know, how fragile life really is. Because it's fragile. It'll turn upside down quick. So let's appreciate it and love each other. So thank you guys so much for just coming out and letting him touch your life like he touched mine. So, love you, Flash. We all do. Thank you.
I grew up with Flash, Tyron, my cousin. And, I never cried stuff like this. But I feel the spirit here right now. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the unit that we need to fix. I want to say, Flash, I came to support you, bro. I came to be here for you. Like, I know you're going to be here for me. And speaking of just some funny moments, man, like we grew up like in a Jehovah's Witness kind of like environment, but I wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, and I don't think Tyrone really practiced it either. So anytime we came to the Jehovah's Witness house, we terrorized the Jehovah's Witness house. Like, period. Like, we grew up before all the basketball. We had a basketball rim outside, and that was how we all had fun. Like, that was the pastime. Like, I feel like we taught Tyrone all that, everything you know, because he beat us, he beat the whole family, the parents, Joe, James, he killed everybody at like 8. He was playing 8 at 8, killing everybody. So, long story short, I'ma miss you, bro. You went before everybody. I don't know how this happened. I really don't. Whatever I can do, man, and put it in my spirit, bro, I'm gonna do it. That's all I can say. But I love you.
All right. Wow, triple threat in the house. This is it, the squad. So this is a bunch of fellas that got us started for our generation, right?
Yep.
So my name's Matt. I had an opportunity to play with Tyrone and all these wonderful humans here up in front of you. Really, really grateful. We kind of just talked as we were standing back there, like, gosh, do we want to get up and talk, right? Because we want to. Are you kidding me? Like, this is our life. Like this group shaped us as humans more than any other group we've ever been a part of. And Tyrone was a huge part of that. But Tyrone was a huge part of that because he was the light. So, like, what do you do with the lesson? Right? What do you do with the time that we spent, what the bakers provided for us? Even though Jermaine didn't get the Fruit Loops in Yakima, he told me about that. Like, only Tyrone and I got the Fruit Loops cereal. Jermaine didn't get the Fruit Loops. But we got the Fruit Loops, y'all. So, like, so what do you do with that lesson? You know? And so I'm from Portland, but I don't live here anymore. So I just came in for this moment. And so I'm at my house with my parents in North Portland, not but a mile away. And like, one of my favorite Tyrone stories is he was coming out of the basement. We're in the basement playing ping pong. And so probably for him, he had to duck to get into the ping pong table, even in 8th grade. And he walks out. I'm the youngest of 9 kids. I got 5 sisters and 3 brothers. That's why big crowds don't intimidate me, because I've been dealing with this all my life. This is not a big thing. But he came out with a big smile on his face, and this is Tyrone. He goes, "Hey mama, your favorite son is home." To my mom, who's the mother of 9 children and has 4 sons. And he's like, "No, but here I am." A big smile on his face, like just tremendous energy, and like, you know, what we've heard before, like even during the darkest times, he had just a tremendous spirit. He was optimistic. He was talking trash. He wanted to talk about sports. He didn't want to talk about what he was going through. So we never really knew what he was going through. But to all you young kids, like, these relationships that you have now, they matter. This is what it turns out to be. And it's all love, right? It's all respect, it's all love, it's all part of the journey. So you have a choice to make, and that's the whole thing about when someone passes. We have a responsibility to live their legacy. And Tyrone challenges us all to live their legacy, live his legacy, which means treating people in the right way, pushing yourselves forward, loving on each other, squeezing each other, telling each other how much we mean, because it doesn't happen that often. And we're fortunate. You too created an opportunity for a generation of people to love this stuff. You created it. I cannot thank you two enough that these two brought this whole group together and created this opportunity to create these relationships that last a lifetime, and they last after death too. I love y'all. I'm done talking. All right, next group. Next man up.
I'm David. Again, I have the opportunity to be with Ty a lot. There's really no other way. Forgive me. To express this, but I think most of these guys would agree. along with the Bakers. Tyrone changed our lives. We were just a bunch of knuckleheads, you know, running around and with this group with Tyrone, and he made us somebody. He made us relevant, right? By ourselves, who knows where we would have ended up?
Just a bunch of knuckleheads.
You know, but Tyrone caused people to spend their hard-earned money to come watch us play, just to get a glimpse of him. You know, spend their, when we play, Thursdays or Saturdays, or what was it? I don't even remember, but spend their hard-earned money to come watch this guy play ball, and we got to be good. And personally, just trying to chase this guy, just trying to keep up with him, changed my life. I don't know what my life would have been like if I hadn't met this guy. You know, I mean, it's tough to comprehend, but I honestly don't know. But just spending a little time around him, I wanted to be like him. Honestly, he was that good. He was just, and like Matt was saying, he was just such a special guy with his spirit is just always fun, always jokes. He just loved being around him. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. I miss him like everybody else does, but you know, the man lived a good life, and he helped a lot of people, whether he realized it or not. He improved the lives of many people, and I hope that, you know, all of us are able to say the same when it's all over. I miss him. I owe him a lot, and I appreciate all you guys coming because he was a good man. He helped a lot of people, whether he knew it or not. I'll leave it at that.
Jermaine, I mean, first thing that comes to mind is he was one of a kind. Like, his basketball world, I mean, it compares to the legends out of the state, without question. He was a special person. I mean, his spirit was unbelievable. His spirit was unbelievable going through these times. Like, I mean, just to touch on what Bino said, he was a special dude, man, and we played fantasy football. I mean, he won the championship. He told us he was gonna win it again next year. He was like, he was unbelievable in his spirit and the way he carried himself and how he handled himself through these times, man. So we spent a lot of time together, man. We spent a lot of time together. So it's not much I can say that isn't known, but he was a special person. And we'll be truly missed.
I'm William, and Tyrone's my best friend, and we spend a lot of time even up until his last days. Everybody knows about basketball with Tyrone. What I know most about Tyrone is that smile, and honestly, I've never seen Tyrone upset. I've known Tyrone since 8th grade, and I've never seen him get mad. He made the best out of every moment. He never complained, even with the condition that he had. He still smiled. He didn't complain to nobody. You'll never know that anything was wrong with him. I mean, the best word to describe Tyrone is an unbreakable spirit. They tried everything to break that man, and even until his days, he smiled. He took it with grace, and he left 2 legacies of young men that have a father and a legacy to live up to, and who have great individual examples in their lives that if y'all ever need anything, you can tap into one of us, either one of us, and we'll be there anytime. So, I mean, there's not really much to say. Everybody knows the basketball thing, but what I know most about Tyron is just the kindest, gentlest giant that I've ever known, the truest friend I've ever had. And he will be truly missed.
My name is James Baker. I view Tyrone as like a superhero. And I know if you all could just go back at Wilson hallways and think he was literally walking around the hallways as a superhero amongst us all. And with superheroes, there's like an origin story. Now you watch all these movies, and I've been thinking a lot lately about the origin story with us. Howard Avery grabs me and he said, "We're gonna go watch this basketball game in Northeast Portland." I go, "Okay." By the way, Lake Oswego, bunch of white kids. Northeast Portland was different from what I was used to in my little world, and I do want to say something about Tyrone's role in breaking down the color barrier in our city. I'll come back to that, but Howard Avery, say what you want about him, but he took me to the gym and he said, we're gonna watch, I think it was ASP. ASSP. And he's just dominant. I mean, obviously, every game he played. And he says, we're gonna go talk to him. I'm like, okay. I'm just like following along. And we meet him and he just says, would you like to come out to the Bakers sometime and meet James's parents and maybe thinking about playing on our team. And that moment said so many things. I mean, he said yes. He said, I don't want to be the only person. So it's like, black guy in the team. So Jalen. Wow. But that just little act of, I don't know, it was just, that was the origin story. And then all of a sudden, we had a team that was contending nationally. You know, we started adding pieces. Like all of a sudden, we're an all-star team. Fine by me. I'm not really playing anymore at that point, but because we got these studs on it. But the more important thing now, looking back, is like what that team started, and you can see it with kids nowadays doing AAU and getting opportunities, and guys make the NBA and from Portland, little old Portland, Oregon. And so, but again, back to the. I feel like we played a little role in helping break down the color barrier, and it all started with Tyron in this city. And I think just thank you, Flash. Thank you, Manlove. Thank you, Manchild, for doing it, because we couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. So I'm the baby boy. They like to remind me of that. I was the youngest one out of the clique. And I met Tyron when I was in 6th grade at SEI camp, summer camp. I think that's where, at the time, where the baddest people in the city would meet up and play. And that's when I first met him. But before I go down that, I just want to thank Daisy and KJ for loving all of us young men and helping us become young men. Not all of us had our dads in our lives. Not all of us had all our moms in our lives. And Daisy and KJ, just thank you for being like parents to us. Remember KJ pulling up in that van, sandwiches. After Howard then ran us for about 4 hours straight, passing out. And just thank you. I love you for just, to the Bakers, thank you for just being the backbone and bringing us all together. Like you said, not all of us would probably be here without Tyron. We all came from different neighborhoods, Crips, Bloods, gaming, La Lake Oswego. That's their own game. Right, they got their own game.
Englewood.
And it just brought us all together. You know, whether David Douglas or Jeff or Vincent or whatever. And there were conversations, you know, we thought we were the Fab Five, right? We were like, all right, where are you going to high school? Where are you going to high school? And a group of them said they were going to Wilson. I said, bet, I'll be there. I'll be there for a year from now, bet. And it's a lot more to that, but Flash is just, you know, I remember a lot of things that a lot of people probably don't remember, like getting their haircuts. Ty used to cut everybody's hair in the locker room before a basketball game. He used to make the mixtape that went on before that. You know, Ty did it all. And you know, I seen Ty at the peak of Ty, and I seen Ty at the low of Ty. And I think William said it best, is that his demeanor never changed. His demeanor never changed. And I just, you know, that's a tribute to KJ and Daisy, just raising him right. You know, we all had some tough times, everybody up here, but I've never seen anybody carry the weight like he carried it. And that's just, like David said, that's just a model for all of us, you know. David was the one that made it to the NBA out of the whole clique. He did it. And I would say a lot of that is due to the drive that Tyron put on all of us, the pressure that he put on all of us to step up our game. You know, I can easily say a lot of us probably wouldn't have made it to college. you know, and had degrees and have the jobs that we have without Tyrone. And so I just want to say I love you, Flash. I love you, KJ and Daisy. I love you, Mr. and Mrs. Baker. Obviously, I love all of y'all. And let's make sure that we give back to this next generation. Like Matt, I don't live here anymore, and I came in town just for this, but I owe something to Portland basketball and Portland community, and we need to figure out what that is. I don't know if it's a foundation or something for Ty, but we need to do something for him, for sure. Yes,
Go ahead, Jeremy Robertson. We didn't just share the court with each other, we share families. We all share each other's families. We call all our moms moms, dads dads. Many nights with KJ and Daisy, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had a way to practice our way home. After Tyron passed, I had a conversation with KJ, just thanking him for everything that he done, because I didn't know why he was in my life, other than he was my friend's dad. But I didn't know he was preparing me to learn how to be a father, be a stepfather, and do it the right way. I knew both of Tyron's fathers. I had relationships with both of them because we knew each other that young. But KJ helped raise me. He showed me what that looked like, to love someone who didn't come from me. So our connection meant a lot more than basketball. We fought, we argued together, we traveled across this country, all over games. But it wasn't just because of the game, it was because of Tyron. We got to travel and we were good because we had him. It wasn't no secret. It was just really good. I remember losing a game in Tennessee one year. We all was basically ready to go home, but we didn't lose much. We knew what the next step was. And I've never seen him more prepared to play than anybody. I think he had finished with 50 or something the next game. He just was prepared. He just was built that way. That the bigger the challenge was, the more ready he was. And I just love him for that. So thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Say real quick, Daniel McKelvey, I didn't know him as a teammate as well as some of the other guys, but as a competitor playing against him, like he was really LeBron James. Like for that whole LeBron phenomenon to happen, like we already saw that. Like he was that, I mean, bigger than everybody, more athletic, and for him, like David kind of said, where he was a standard for all of us in that generation to work and to shoot for. And you can see, I had a chance to play against him one-on-one after a camp one time, and I got to measure myself and see. I wasn't there. He was up there, I wasn't there, but I got to see. He was like that real standard. And then somebody said it's ironic to be up there playing with Kobe to see the after effects, to be that LeBron James on the court, and then to be that as a man, as a father, as the grown-up version, it's special. But I don't think people really get it. You see, that was LeBron for around here. We played against him. I know. I was around some dunks. I ain't gonna say I got dunked. He was it, and that set the tone for a lot of us growing up around here, man. That carries on even to now. So. That's love.
My name is Wendell Rayford. I just want to reiterate what everyone else has said. Ty was a good dude, good spirit, good energy. I could recall him staying over in this area I remember we was in 5th grade, he was in 4th grade. Where's Dion at? Here go Dion. It was playing with Vernon, and I was at Irvington at the time, and we had to play against Tyrone. And then he became a 7th grader going to 8th grade. I remember the Sunday morning Oregonian. I was delivering newspapers. He was on the front page of the Oregonian sports page, looking down like this. So just imagine being a 6th, 7th, 8th grader. You got to go up against this dude like, Then when he did a great job. Because I remember David Jackson. When David was working at Tubman and Davis started playing with Ty, and it took David to another level. You got Tyron and Jermaine. You got William. You got Jalen. You got the Bakers. Then let me backtrack. The team that put this together, keep up the good work. Y'all did a great job. I'm not on social media, but I do talk to individuals that's on it. And I know T, you on your A game. You know, I know we talked about KJ as well as Tyrone's mom. Y'all keep up the good work. I've never had a chance to meet his sons. I'll be in and out of town. State of course, who's his fiance or his wife. Condolences to you as well. Keep up the great job. I think is his wife your fiance? I've never met her. No, okay, my apologies. So, but Tyrone was just a good dude. I mean, they say they've never seen him mad. I have seen him mad one time. He was over at LA Fitness. He was playing basketball out on 82nd, and William always calls it trouble. He calls trouble, and William in there. He's like, William, you can't be coming in here doing that. I'm working. And we all got in the gym for free. But Tyrone was a good dude. Good energy, good spirit. And I mean, his niceness was the reason why I think our team had a chance to beat them one game out of 6, because he was a nice dude, you know. And I mean, he was just a nice dude, and which isn't a bad thing, you know. In this generation, he did great, but you know, but he's a good dude, good energy, good spirit. But once again, families keep up the good work with keeping the ties, the legacy alive. And if I could do anything to support, like we always say, not a cliche, please don't hesitate to let me know. But families, and y'all keep up the good work. And appreciate you all for coming and being in support of it. Oh, the last thing, okay, another thing. I think about it when we was playing, you know, I'm at Jeff, and Tyrone's at Wilson. And like I talked about how great his team was, we had Roslyn, who went to Jeff, who was supposed to be a demo, but when we played Wilson, and James as well. Yeah, and at the end of the day, she's supposed to be on Jeff, so we looking alike. And she said, well, we gotta play my cousin, we gonna beat y'all. Be for real. You going out to Wilson if you feel that way. But people was loyal to him because he was always loyal to them. You know, so that's, you know, just thinking about it, but that's it.
I'm Diane Baker, and I just have a couple little tiny remembrances of Tyrone from the early triple threat days. I think it was Jalen was talking about how we were all family, and we called each other's parents mom, and my mother and Jim's dad came to a lot of the triple threat games, and we were at one game, and Tyrone comes up to my mom and says, "Hi, Grandma," and he gives her a big hug, and the kids all, and then this opposing team fan said, "Is that really her? Is that really his mama? His grandma?" And I go, "Well, yeah." He called her Grandma. And another thing I remember about Tyrone is that he liked his clothing neat. And when he was over at our house, I would iron his jeans for him. With starch? He had starch? I didn't iron them quite right. So at that time, I'd iron them and I'd put creases in front. He did not want the creases. I had to redo them. And the third little memory was I think we were at maybe 14. Is that the earliest he played with us? Or 13. Well, anyway, we were at a tournament, and you know, I would have to gather everybody's birth certificates to show how old they were to enter them into the tournament. So I had all the teams' birth certificates, and we you know, it was maybe Tiger, where the gym was, and Triple Threat, you know, beat him by a lot. And I was walking out, and this mother from one of the team players from the other team says, I know that number 32 is not 14. And I got his birth certificate right here. Anyway, he was a wonderful man and boy. And like the team said, he brought us together. And we'll listen.
Hi, my name's Eliana. I knew Tyron. He came to Woodburn and was a teacher there for about 2 years till we got the news about his illness. He was a great role model for me. I know he was for many others too, and another one couldn't come today, but he just got done playing his senior night football. And I know how much you wanted to tell Tyron that he did it. He finally made it. He played football, like you said, in 8th grade. I remember the first day I met him as well. I was playing basketball with a bunch of guys in our middle school courts. I remember after his smile was so big, telling me he can get me to go to college and everything. And I think the most that I want to thank him for is believing in me and pushing me. And I just can still remember all the words he would tell me for advice. And I love that man so much. And his boys too. I'm always here for you guys if you ever need anything. And thank you guys.
Work every day. I would come in being a fool. I know it's a lot of Wilson High School people, but I went to Benson. I cheered, I did dance team. So I thought I was a good dancer. Ty didn't think I was a good dancer. I was his character, one of them. And while he didn't really approve of my dance moves, like his smile was enough for me to keep going. And we connected on a lot of things because I'm only a couple of years younger than him, but he loved his kids, he loved his family. We both didn't do social media, so I totally bonded with that because I was like, no, don't do that. And I'm a sports junkie too. So this sounds really corny, but for anybody who loves sports, I miss watching Sports Center, and then we would watch The Herd, and then we would watch Speak for Yourself. And then we would watch Around the Horn, and then we would watch Jalen and Jacoby, and I just miss that. And then he introduced me to this guy named Uncle Jimmy, and you gotta watch Speak for Yourself to know who Uncle Jimmy is. But then there's this other uncle he has, and I don't remember his name, but he showed me these 2 notebooks that he chronicled like every single game, every news clipping, like, and he was so proud of that notebook. So if that uncle is here, just know that, like, that was his stuff. You know, people are up here and they're talking about like just his resilience. I've looked back. Do you know, I sat still and I thought, he never complained. Never. You know what I mean? Like, there was plenty of times when there might have been a tough day, but he was just still quiet and he was still strong, and he made me stronger even though I was caring for him. And then this one time, Danielle came over to help me transfer him. And as we're trying to transfer, he's like, calm down, you got this. I was like, are you coaching me right now? You're coaching me? You're telling me to calm down? You're telling me we got this? I just want to say to Laura, thank you for respecting his wishes to stay at home. We talked about potentially moving him away. That was the worst thing that we could have possibly done. I'm glad he stayed at home. Thank you to Ron for coming over. We enjoyed every time I did. I love talking sports with you. His light got brighter when you were around. It was like you gave him strength. To Will, we still have a t-shirt business that we have to write. And you still have to, dance before you come in the house. That was the thing. But I think the beauty is that sometimes even in his silence, it was so much said, and I wasn't just like his caregiver, like I was his little sister. He was my big brother. He gave me encouragement. He gave me motivation. And then this one other person is Bino. He came over because I was like, dang, he's cute. but listen, it's more than that, Bino. It's more than that. So then like a couple of months go by, right? He was like, hey, because we like sports. He was like, check this out. And it was a podcast you did. He was so proud. He was just beaming. I was like, he was at the house. He was like, yeah. I was like, wait, he's like, yeah, he on the podcast. I was like, that's dope. And so I just want to encourage you, like, as you continue that, know that he's watching. Again, I met him in like November of 2019 when he was still upstairs in the room. And shortly thereafter, Kobe passed, right? And that was like when we first really got, I finally saw an emotion because he just, nothing really fazed him. He broke down, and when they had the funeral, like I was there that day, and we cried, and I hugged him, and it's just crazy to think like he's up there with Kobe now, like playing with him, and I'm just grateful that the universe allowed me to be a part of his life, and I just want you guys to love everybody like it's their last day, okay? Just love on everybody so hard, go hard all the time, just for nothing, just because you don't know if you get another day. But like, just love on people, man, because kindness don't kill. Kindness doesn't kill, right? And again, to Laura, like, I thank you for sharing your life, your home with me. I thank you for letting me come over 2 days after he passed was my regular shift, and I didn't know anywhere else to go. So I just drove to his house. I'm in my pajamas, Laura's in her pajamas, and I was like, I just don't know where to go. I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, and she was like, you're right. And so I just sat. And to his kids, your dad is always with you because his heartbeat is your heartbeat. So stay strong in that. Look at this community of people that you have. You understand what I'm saying? Your hugs are amazing. I know because he talked about them all the time. And he is so very proud of you. So just keep doing what you're doing. If you ever doubt anything, know that he's standing right beside you. He's walking right beside you. Do you understand what I'm saying? To Daisy, I love you. I always look forward to hearing from you when you called, even though I hadn't met you. You were my mom too. I was like, hey mom. I'd be like, tell your mom may call you. And he's like, she'll call, just wait a minute. And sure enough, call. To KJ, just thank you for loving on him as well. I know. But I just thank you guys for being here, and thank you for this time.
I'm Tyron Manlove. Tyron is my brother. I don't have many memories of Tyron. I do remember a little when we were younger, but mostly what I know, I know of his basketball. I was working at this job, and I was working doing customer service for I just remember people would come in. I was working at a motel doing front desk work, and I remember I would have the name tag on, and the name tag, have Manlove, and people would come in and they would know exactly who he is, and these were like business people, yeah. So, and they would just brag on him and just know exactly who he was, I didn't really get to share that and get to know him, growing up. But we did talk these last few years, and we were trying to get together, get my kids and his kids together, and we were never able to do it. But we did communicate a lot through that text now, and we would text a lot. Because it was a point where he couldn't speak. And so those are just the memories that I have. I have the later years. And I just wish that I could have known him, more. But I just take what I can get. I thank God for, just the later days. And I know that he has so many people that loved him, he was great, a legend, and, that's just all that I know. I've heard a lot. I went to Central Catholic, he went to Wilson, but I just know that I got a lot of attention just because of my name, yeah, and so, he's amazing, it's amazing. So I'm just here. I just wanted to get up and say that I love him, and I thank God for him. And I know he's up there with him. And I just want to thank his cousins and his mom. You guys were good. It's good to me, And so I just thank you for that. And I just wanted to get up and just represent my family and let Tyron know that we love him and he will be missed.
Uncle is when he did basketball camp or something like that at Jefferson. It's probably a little bit ago, but I just remember him giving us fundamentals and showing us defense and all that good stuff about basketball. And I remember when I was doing all the practices and stuff, I would try to imitate what he would be doing, him being so tall and stuff, and I was kind of like short, but I wasn't that short. But, it was nice to see him showing the kids and showing me how to play basketball. And from that day, I've always wanted to see what his old basketball clips and gameplay was like. I've always wanted to see what he was actually really about. So whoever was able to do that, that was probably pretty awesome. But I wish I would have been there too. But I just wanted to say that little story about my uncle, and that I love him, and that I hope that he sees everyone here and can cherish this moment with us.
Anyone else?
Sisters, you guys want to say anything? Well, I just want to say thank you. The city came out for Tyron, just like we all showed up when he won that award, that contest, the best ballers from Portland. So I just definitely want to say thank you for everybody, all the words that everyone has said. I also want to give special love to Laura as well, because the poem that I read she put together. So definitely give her some love for that as well. Thank you very much for that. At this time, I want to bring up my nephew Tyus. He's going to be reciting the poem. So Tyus, the floor is yours.
How's everybody doing?
Take your start.
Can you see with your mind's eye? People's dwelling together. Sorrow has passed. Peace at last. Life without tears or pain. In those days, it's hard. In those days, old will grow young. Flesh revived as in childhood. Troubles are gone. From now on, no need to weep or fear. Paradise all will enjoy. As we sing of God's glory, long as we live, we will give to God our Maker thanks. Sing out with joy of heart. You too can have a part. Live for the day we will say life without end. Thank you.
I just want to say something a little funny real fast, something to prank my brother. Me and James just killed Tyron. I'm just saying, but if anybody who played basketball on 10th and Jared, remember getting slammed against the basketball court and the wall in the fence by my dad and KJ? Yeah, y'all know, it was hard. Anyway, we're going to play a song that's dedicated to my aunt, Tyron's mom, Daisy May. What's that? Daisy May, can you hear me? Yeah, you got to divide real fast. Daisy May, can you come on up here for a moment, please? Daisy May, can you come on up here, please? Go get her. Thank you, Daisy May. We're going to play a song that's dedicated for Daisy May. So this song means a lot to you. It was put together by Tyus. He actually sung it, but it's a rendition of one of your favorite songs by Luke Bryan called Drink a Beer. So while the song is being played, my sisters are going to be passing out balloons for you guys, because after this we're going to go ahead and do the release. So
Bluetooth connected.